Alright, there we go. This should be working. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let this do its thing first. Okay, just testing. If you can hear me, let me know. Hopefully this works. This time. I figured out what the issue was. The microphone was off. So, of course it wasn't going to work. It's just... Okay, excellent. Beautiful. Works. Awesome. Okay. Let me just do a couple quick things. Beautiful. Okay, great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Eljay Johnsen Show. The show airs every single weekend, every Saturday at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Man, it's been so long. I gotta get back in that rhythm. Anyway, show airs every single Saturday, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There are guest announcements and updates on Twitter every Tuesday, usually. If you have any questions, make sure to email me. There we go. At the email right here, ljjohnson@gmail.com. Remember, that's Johnnsen, not O-N. Okay. We're finally here. It's been so long. It wasn't... I didn't mean for it to be so long. This was supposed to be actually a really busy month, and it ended up just kind of going... So, it's been a mess. It has been a turbulent, busy month, a bit busy December, when it was supposed to be busy for other reasons, and it ended up just being a complete and total mess. So, basically, we're going to go ahead and send 2018 out and just kind of hang out a little bit. I'm going to give any updates and whatnot and answer any questions anyone may have. It should just be a nice, relaxing time. No real issues, no real concerns. So, alright. Yeah, just go ahead and ask any questions that anyone might have, and we'll just have a good time. That's basically the only goal here. I'll do my best to answer anything that I can, and we'll see how things go. But, yeah, no, hopefully, how have you been? How have all of you been doing this last month? Hopefully I'm coming through all right. The microphone was off, so that was a good start. We're doing good. As far as the mess is concerned, the aforementioned mess. Yes, yes and no. I'm actually still recovering from a cold that I got this month, and that was not fun. So that's actually why I was very recently gone from most things-ish. It's kind of a combination. So if you notice, I haven't been too active anywhere, necessarily. And if you listen to the TTV podcast, then you heard my illness, my ailment. And it was not pleasant. But that and CenturyLink just basically got wiped out throughout most of the country. So that was fun. If they end up, I don't know, just kind of being sold to someone else, I wouldn't necessarily complain. Like, they're working now, so I just feel bad for all the people that had to go and fix it. That was just a massive kerfuffle. So, Warrior Studios asks, where did you get the shirt? It was a gift. I don't know where you can get it. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Nether asks, how was Brickfair 2018? It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, no, that's basically it. It was much better in 2017. It was much better than 2017. It was an actual good experience. It was a positive time. And there was a lot of fun to be had. There was a lot of Galador to be had, which was certainly a surprise. And yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was great fun. I highly recommend going to 2019. 2019, if everything works out, is going to be impressive. Careful now. So, The Darkness asks, when is Bionicle going to come back? Hopefully, never. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't think it will. But if G2 was any indication, then yes, aforementioned, hopefully never. So. So, Ty Lord asks, favorite sub-theme this year? Sub-theme. Oh, gosh. You're going to have to remind me on some of the sub-themes. because I plan on doing the top 10 favorite sets of 2018, like I did for 2017, but I have not been able to get that up yet. So, but yeah, remind me of which themes you are referring to, and I'll be able to better answer that question. So, let me see. Daniel Brickson says, LJ gotta apologize. Reinhardt is getting pushed back a bit as the voices of Sombra and Mercy are going to be in Chicago, so I want to do them first, but after them is Roadhog and then your Reinhardt. Don't worry, that's perfectly fine. I know what you're talking about. He's talking about Mox. Prioritize that. Don't worry. I will be okay. I'm good for now. For the record, this came from Lego. I have to mention that. I didn't buy this. This was sent to me from Lego. So thank you, Lego. There. Got my legal disclaimer out of the way. I have to... even though it was sent to me for TTV purposes, which is going to materialize in January, I gotta mention it. I'm just covering my bases. So, Warrior Studios asks, are you a Star Wars fan? I wouldn't say fan necessarily. I follow it to certain extents, like enough to just absolutely despise The Last Jedi. I think it's just a terrible film, just in general. I don't think the writing is very good. I find that it's a poorly told story, essentially, and it just meanders for however long the movie runs, and Luke Skywalker is there for a little bit of it. I don't think it's a good film. Outside of that, though, I don't really follow a whole lot of Star Wars. I play Battlefront 2, though sparingly, very rarely, actually. I don't even have Grievous yet. He's my favorite Star Wars character. I haven't even seen Rogue One, so that should kind of give you a level of what I'm working with when it comes to Star Wars. So, my favorite film, Star Wars film, is just... it's just the Revenge of the Sith. That's it. That's all it is. So obviously I'm not super invested. That's why I don't even hate Star Wars the Last Jedi for being a bad Star Wars film. I just don't like it for being a movie. Like, it's a bad film. It's the first film, okay, maybe one of two at least, that I can say, I'm watching this movie, I'm not having a good time, I wish I weren't watching this movie. For the record, the other one is The Polar Express. I don't like that movie at all. It is horrendously creepy. Just miserably creepy. So. Alright, Nether asks, LJ, why don't you like HF? Is it the story? If so, then read the books. Greg did a great job on them. No. I don't mind HF. Back in the day, I used to really hate Hero Factory because, obviously it replaced Bionicle. But, no, I actually don't mind HF. Hero Factory FM is a gem. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The show is an experience. But no, I don't hate HF. I have not read the books, admittedly. I've heard they're very good, and I know Greg had a lot of stuff he wanted to do with the story. There's a lot of potential. Hero Factory's worst crime was 4 cliffhangers. That was fairly egregious. So. But yeah. Daniel asks, how was the charity stream? Heard from my friend Alyssa that she chatted with you on the stream. If you're talking about the Beyond the Brick one, it was great. It was awesome. Beyond the Brick had a 24-hour-long charity stream, and Joshua was building... oh, goodness, what was he working on? He was working on the UCS Millennium Falcon, the new one. And it's always a blast. They do it every single year. They do great work. Joshua is a trooper for staying up for 24 hours building. And yeah, no, it was a blast. Had a wonderful time. Looking forward to next year, and hopefully... they made it to 1,000. They did a great job. It worked out wonderfully. So, it's always great. Beyond the Brick are good people, and they have a lot of really fantastic content, so I will never not recommend them. So, Retrozide asks, do you think a Bionicle revival would be done better if it was released around 2020, 2021 for nostalgia to hit its peak? I mean, hopefully they wouldn't bank on nostalgia. Hopefully they'd just make a good product, and people would buy a good product, and that would be it. Like, hopefully they don't need another Masters wave. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't complain. obviously, but I am hoping they would just make a good sets and a good story, and then that would be it. That would be all that they would need to rely on. So, I don't think they should release in 2020, 2021. I think they should do something for the 20-year anniversary. I know I'm going to be doing a lot for the 20-year anniversary, but I don't think that they should make a re-release just for an attempt if it isn't going to be good, basically. So, sorry about that. Okay. Here we have the serious questions. Mr. Hinkle Draws, who has recently joined us in the YouTube sphere, so get ready to enjoy better understanding demonetization. He has asked the important question, when do we get to watch you play Super Mario Bros. 2 on Twitch? So that is actually going to be coming very soon. It will be in January. I wanted to do it sooner, but things got awfully busy. So that's going to be next month. And I still need to take the clips from the first one, compile them, and I'm going to be doing this, and put them here on YouTube to kind of let people know. For the uninitiated, I do have a Twitch channel. It's, the same name. And I played for the first time Super Mario Brothers on that channel. And that was an experience. That was, that was something. That was definitely something. So, and I've heard interesting things about the second one. So, I will be definitely playing that in January. Oh, boy. So, yeah, there we go. Let me see here. Naromiki, I believe. I apologize if that's inaccurate. Says, hey, can you do a voice that would suit Tanma? I don't know. I've never thought about how Tanma would sound. Like, I think Liwa ideally sounds like this. It sounds self-centered, I know. But I hated how Liwa was done in the film. It sounded like he was old and raspy, like, have you ever wind-flown a cocklebird? Well, today's for quick learning. It's just an old leprechaun. And I wasn't a fan of that. I thought Liwa should sound young and spry and always ready to go. And, hey, I'm Liwa, Mystery King of Know-Nothingness. That's me. That kind of a deal. But Tanma, I've never really thought about Tanma. Also, yeah, okay. Mr. Hinkle Draws and Wadon mentioned it was a blast to watch. Listen, I don't want to ever end up in World 1-1 ever again. Ever. So if there's a World 1-1, we're going to have a problem in Super Mario Bros. 2. So. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Tanma. I've never thought about how Tanma should sound. I don't think he should sound weak. Like, he's not. He's the leader of the tribe after Kuro ended up getting shadowed. So, maybe he should sound, maybe not exactly like this. That's a little too, I don't know. I like I said, I've never thought about it. So, I couldn't tell you. The Darkness asks, can you scream, Takua? Real loud. I would not call that real loud, so there we go. Ty Lord says, better see more respect for Bionicle in the Lego Movie 2. Don't count on it. I think Bionicle has been given its dues in the Lego films, with the exception of the Lego Ninjago movie, which obviously had no mention of Bionicle whatsoever. So it broke the chain, which is immensely disappointing, on top of an already disappointing film, especially given that the sets had copious references to Bionicle. Both of the of the docks and the city had many references, but the actual film didn't. So I wouldn't count on it for the Lego Movie 2. I would not enjoy the film if there isn't a Bionicle reference. There are other rumored reasons to dislike the movie, but I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna see how it all pans out. So, Gustavus asks, how did watching the Star Wars Holiday Special with you and BCC change you? Okay, so I kind of watched it. It was on the TV. For those unaware, I went to Utah recently, and they had for a thing. and they had a watch party. I don't know if it's announced yet. They had a watch party for the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is revered to be garbage. Spoiler alert, it is. It's immensely trash. But I wasn't really watching it. I was busy doing other things while it played in the background. So I saw snippets of it. It was garbage. I did not see the whole thing in depth, and I don't really plan to now that I've seen those snippety clips. So, let me see. Stephen Armstrong asks, "What's Project H?" I'm not gonna say yet. Trust me, it's good. I'm very happy with it. I don't want to hype it up too much to get people's expectations up for something they might not be too interested in, but I'm content with it. I'm looking forward for everyone to see it. Project H is a variety of different things that are massive in scope, and you won't be able to see for a while. I believe I mentioned on Twitter, Project H releases fully. It releases for the first time, I think, January 1st, 2020, so in about a year. So, you'll see it then. Nether asks, "LJ, what is the character in HF you would like in a set that never got one? Also, if you saw the Breakout movie, did you think that the Wave 2 sets deserve to be in it?" I don't know if the Wave 2 sets should have been in it or not. It might have cluttered the film too much, or the TV special. Also, Jimmy Stringer got numerous iterations that were in all the Hero Factory stuff, so I'm content. Jimmy Stringer was always my favorite anyway. Maybe that green guy from the first one. I don't remember what his name is. Thrasher? I think it is. Anyway, Mr. Hinklejaws asks, "Does your coffee mug have a huge chip off the rim?" It doesn't, actually. It's just the black paint that is blending in with my shirt at that angle, which is a fun illusion, but no, it's a completely intact mug. So, okay. It's coffee. I'm gonna switch to tea. That's much better. Much better. So, let me see here. Oh, goodness. Okay. But yeah, you guys will see. Project H is exciting, I think. It's exciting. It follows up on a promise that was made a while ago that I'm actually in a position to handle now. So, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm excited, but I don't want to try and mislead anyone. So, I'm not going to say too much. Every so often, you'll see me kind of update on it and kind of generate interest. But that's it. So. Eye of the Wolf Productions asks, "How do you switch from coffee to tea with ease?" I have no idea. Here's coffee. Alright, that's bitter. So it's coffee. This is tea. That's much nicer. It's a very smooth experience. And here's water. Very easy. Very easy to do. See, Meso in the chat says, "Switching is very easy when you're acclimated to both." Which is kind of funny, because I'm not very acclimated to coffee. Because I only just recently started drinking it again after a year without drinking coffee. And it wasn't to make any kind of a statement or go on a diet. It was just because at a certain point, I stopped drinking it and went, I can go a year without this. This seems fun. Let's see how easy that would be. Spoiler alert, it's very easy. I don't understand people who are addicted to coffee. I think, I love tea. I'm a big fan of tea. This is Earl Grey, which is a really smooth black tea. Almost has a kind of a smoky taste to it. I can go a month or a year without tea. It wouldn't be fun, but I could do it because all you really need is water. Water is really good for waking you up, especially if you're trying to get up. So, yeah. Sakota asks, "What was your favorite movie from 2018? I'll err on the side of caution and just go Infinity War. I really liked Infinity War. That was a good movie to me. I mean, yeah, that's a safe answer, but it's the one I'm gonna go with. I don't watch a lot of movies, so I watch Marvel movies in theaters at least. Marvel movies and Lego movies. I have been asked on several occasions to watch Into the Spider-Verse. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but I haven't seen it yet. So, there you go. Let me see. Mid Blue asks, "What were your favorite Bionicle things from 2018?" See, I can't really talk about that. I have an experience, a Bionicle experience, that was an absolute blast. It was what I was in Utah for, and I don't know if I can talk about it. I mean, I think most people know that I was in Utah at Mass Collector's house. And Mass Collector, for anyone unaware, is the owner of the Platinum Evoke. And so, at the very least, you know I held that. And there will be more on that specifically later. But that was really cool. It's heavy, by the way, if anyone was wondering. And I got some other experiences while I was there, which were fantastic. Special mention, shout out to Avenging Odin, Nathan, and Meerkat from RSG. They're both an unimaginable blast to hang out with. So, and of course, Andre Hurley, the owner of the Platinum Evoke. So, absolutely fantastic, folks. Mr. Kevin Hinkle draws. Mr. Hinkle draws. There we go. Nice. I did something similar. Went vegetarian for a full year for the experience and exploration of that dietary life. Oof. Well, I'm going to assume, since it's it's past tense. How was that? Like, that's something I could never do. I can live off of. I can live without coffee for a full year. That's very easy for me to do. I might struggle a little bit with tea, but I don't think that I could go a full year without meat. I can barely go a full week without it. So, I'm definitely gonna pass on that one. Let me see. The Darkness asks, "You sliced Solik in your recap review. Are you going to kill God later in the day?" That's amazing. But no. So, the Darkness says, "I can't believe you have Christmas decorations on 361 days before it." So, I usually leave these up until after January 1st because they're so nice. They're so much fun to have. It livens things up. I would keep them year-round, but they'd get boring. And I want them to be nice. So I keep them at least for 1 month. Actually, a little over a month. Because I put them up right around Thanksgiving. So yeah. Michael says, "Buy Mr. Hinkle Draws shirts." This is true. Definitely do that. Oh, goodness. This is a bad time to forget what the name of the website is, but I'm getting it real quick. Alright, yeah, bricksonthedollar.com. They don't sponsor me. Just keep that in mind. So this is a completely unbiased... Well, okay, it's not completely unbiased. It's very biased. But they don't sponsor me. So I'm going to plug them as much as possible. bricksonthedollar.com. They have a monthly Lego shirt subscription, and the designs are all done by Mr. Hinkle Draws, and they're fantastic. They're combinations of all sorts of things, and they're a lot of fun. So I'll definitely mention them. Prentice asks, "What's your favorite TTV shirt design that we've seen thus far?" Oof, that's a good question. I mean, I'm always partial, obviously enough, I'm always partial to shirts I'm on. So Knack and Jay would probably be my favorite design. Just because it's a colorful and fun design. And obviously references the Monog with Meso, which is a fan favorite, as it were. But outside of that, no, I'd say Knack and Jay. Definitely, because you guys have seen that one. So. Mr. Hinkle Draws follows up on the vegetarian for a year. His wife has been vegetarian for 15, so he gave it a go a while back. 2010. gave me a new understanding of the struggles dining out at restaurants. I can imagine. It would be pretty difficult to find places to eat that don't either serve meat on the same grills or don't serve meat at all. I don't imagine that is a large... I hesitate to say large market because I know that there are a lot of people that are vegetarian. See, vegetarian, I can... That's okay. I don't think it's not something I would do. I love meat too much. Vegan though, I question that because it's all animal products and it's very hard to get away from all sorts of animal products. At least as a vegetarian, you're just not eating meat. Like, there are supplements for that, and you can obviously... And vegetables, fruits and vegetables are delicious, obviously. But vegan, that's a bit much. That especially like with animals, at least you're just not eating animal, but because you don't think that either you can't or you don't want to because you think it supports killing all the animals, which of course by necessity it has to. But with vegans, it's all animal products. And sometimes the byproducts of animals that we end up consuming, milk, cheese, eggs, are good for the animal. Cows need to be milked. Either by their offspring or by people. And it doesn't hurt the cows. I don't like these large conglomerate kind of cow housing facilities. Like all the cows just kind of jammed in there. That's awful. Free range cows. And that definitely comes from a place of working with cows on an open pasture. So, definitely on board with milk, eggs, free range cows, chickens as well. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I just could not. So, but fair enough. It sounds like an interesting experience. And, you know what? Did it for a year. So that yeah, you can say that. I could never say that. Again, barely a week. Also, for anyone that may have missed it, Mr. Hinklejaws says Bionicle shirt is planned for February. So, bricksonthedollar.com. Definitely check them out. Sakota asks, what do you personally want TTV's top moment of 2018 to be? I want it to be my return. I'll be unabashed about that. I definitely wanted to be my return because it was fairly monumental. And, yeah. So, this would be a time where I plug the topic, but this is my channel. I have no obligation to TTV here. So, I'll talk about that on the podcast later. Warrior Studios asks, do you have a lot of Bionicle shirts? I wouldn't say a lot. I'd say a decent amount of Lego shirts. But I don't know if I'd call it a lot. I don't know what a lot is. Stephen Armstrong asks, is TTV ever re-releasing the time-traveling Walker shirt? Yes. They are. Wadon asks, what has been your favorite TTV moment of 2018? Obviously, yeah, it's my return. That was a pretty good one. I'm very happy with how we were able to pull it off, even if the audio is a little obscured by VAR being very loud. And that's just because of XSplit. You got to be very careful with the levels on XSplit, obviously, as I'm sure many of you may be aware. So, Albert Kim asks, on the topic of open gaps, OG Bionicle had piston-ish designs and a few pieces, like the Anika lower leg piece, have gaps built into them. If so, wouldn't gaps in Titan sets from pistons be excusable? I guess. So, this is something that I have to maintain. The recaps, very specifically, were my attempt to be as unbiased as I could. So it was me getting a lot of opinions and thoughts that I had heard about the sets over the years, being a member on BC Power and being a member in the community, and kind of presenting them in a orderly fashion, I guess. So there was a lot of regurgitation of things I had heard. So gaps, blue pins, red axles, that kind of thing. As far as I'm concerned, I kind of agree. I think that the gaps are generally okay. The concern for most people comes from a design perspective when there are gaps in a set that make it look unfinished. It gives it a gappy design. A good example would be the Hordika. They look really, really gappy. They don't look full. They don't look like physical characters that you'd expect to see walking around and moving and so on and so forth. They just look empty. So, that kind of a deal. Others, it lends itself very well to the design, like Maxilos and Spinax. That set has its own issues, don't get me wrong. Apologies. But that's mainly the concern there, is that it looks incomplete, it looks empty. Myself, I don't really care. And keep in mind, I've said that the red axles and the blue pins is a critique of sets. I don't think they're good. I don't find them to be good aspects, but they don't alter my perception of a set, if that makes any sense. So when I mention that as a con, then it's, while it isn't from me, it's something I agree with, because it is an immensely common critique of various different sets. So, hopefully that kind of explains that a bit better. I mean, anything can be excused for any reason, basically. You know, I saw one of the excuses for red axles and blue pins was, oh, they're just open wires because they're robots, which is just poor robot design. Like, nobody makes a robot and just leaves open wires around. That's just unsafe. But you can explain anything away for any given reason. Personally speaking, I don't care. If you want to like a set, you want to like Solik, even though he is legitimately a bad set. You want to like the Mictoran, which are also, by the way, bad sets. Just from the perspective, if you're looking at a set from the perspective of wanting articulation, wanting pieces that work really well with the rest of your collection, the Mictoran are terrible. That being said, I really like the Mictoran. I think they're really good sets, because I enjoy them personally. But they can still be critiqued. They can still be criticized for their failures as a toy. That's my general stance. So, Warrior Studios asks, what is your favorite Matoran build? It is the Maritoran. I think the Maritoran are really good. I really like them. I think they have a great torso design. I think they have adequate articulation. There are Matoran designs that have better articulation, like the Metrotoran, but I think the Maritoran are my personal favorites. So, Fullisk asks, LJ, do you know why the Lime Joint podcast is inactive? I don't, actually. I know Hector has been really busy, and I know Swart has been really busy. And between the two of them being busy, the podcast has kind of taken a seat in the back burner, as it were. So, I don't really have a whole lot to do with it. I guest every now and then, which is always a blast. But I don't know specifically if there are any other reasons that it's kind of taken a back seat, outside of just Hector being very busy. So, I would err on that. Oh! Yeah, of course. Mr. Hinkle-Draws has made the correct assessment. It's not a toy, it's a highly sophisticated interlocking brick system. Well, you know what? I don't have any construction. Wait, no, I do. Oh yeah, do these look like bricks to you? Huh? No, I didn't think so. That's not a brick. That's not an interlocking brick. It's a ball and socket joint. Now what? Also, yes, I am working on 2006 Bionicle playset reviews, obviously. It is also something that will be coming next year, early next year. No announcement on the time yet. That's a TTV thing, but I'm working on it. So, Leo Xander asks, how did you recover from your sickness sooner than Orion? That's a really good question. So for any unaware, Orion visited me recently, and I got sick. Now, I'm not saying that he got me sick, because I had just gotten back from Utah, and generally speaking, if I'm on a plane, I'm getting sick. There's been one time where I have not gotten sick from a plane, and that was in 2016, and it was not Brick Fair. Excuse me. But I don't know how I got better quicker than Orion. I stayed incredibly hydrated, and I was bedridden for, I think, 48 hours. But I don't know how I got better. Is he still sick? Like, I know he was sick a few days ago, but he didn't get better from that? So, I have no idea. Because I when I'm sick, I'm out for a while. Huh. So, let me see here. Daniel asks, is there, or what Rahi do you wish to see done as a mock? There's nothing really specific that I want to see. I've made a Metru Mantis because it's my favorite Rahi. Because praying mantises are awesome. They're really awesome. They're excellent. But outside of that, I don't really have a huge desire to see anything specifically. So, Jake the Robo Nerd asks, what would you say is your favorite online short serial? Good question. Hard to come up with an answer. I usually write off all from 2007. They're too complex. They interconnect too much. I might say Destiny War would be my favorite. For anyone unaware, Bionicle had a series of online story serials running from 2007 all the way until it ended, and there are 2 of them that are left unresolved. So, I would probably go with Destiny War. So, Wadon asks, during the TTV video Upward and Onward, who played the other 2 LJ? Not sure if this has been answered before. They were all me. Yeah, and they were all me. Obviously. Wolk says, if set number 6937 giveaway doesn't get its own in-depth review, I'll unsub then resub. I'm reviewing it. Spoiler alert, I'm reviewing it. It's not getting its own video, though. That's not happening. I'm not gonna... the video would be 3 minutes long, and 2 of those minutes would be entirely the intros. So I'm definitely not giving it its own review, but I am lumping it in with another set, and it's going to get reviewed. So if you have to unsubscribe and then resubscribe, I understand. But just know it's getting a review. Triavore Productions, do you know about Little Brotherhood Studios' Project Toa? Yes, I do. And I reached out to them to be on the show, and they responded. They were one of the first groups of people that I reached out to, and they declined. They are so far the only people that have declined being on the show. And obviously it was very early on. They have no obligation to be here. But they declined because they said they don't keep up with current LEGO themes and they wouldn't be able to discuss Ninjago. Okay. At the time, the only video of the show I had out was the one between Tanner Fishies and D. Tenaglia Studios talking about the LEGO Ninjago movie. And they took that to mean it was a Ninjago show. But I didn't want to talk about Ninjago with them. I wanted to talk about Project Toa, which they seem to have misunderstood, which is fine. I still want to have them on, and I'll likely be reaching out to them again, because I do want to talk about Project Toa, and about how they could probably use a better Liwa. Sorry, what? But, yeah, no, I definitely know what Project Toa is. It looks really good, but, yeah, so, that's the scoop. Let me see here. Sakota says, if you like the Metru Mantis, you may like my next Bionicle set. I'm gonna go with yes. I'm gonna like it regardless, because you do a great job. Leo Leozander asks, have you heard of the High Elves? No. Nether asks, what is your opinion on people cutting the Keat Orange Rakshi head from the spine? People are welcome to do whatever they want with their pieces. I know that everyone was incredibly dismayed when the spine attached to the head for the Rakshi Stars, which is one of the last Bionicle sets for anyone unaware. So I understand it. I don't do it. But, they're pieces. So, Kirian asks, what is your favorite combination model / least favorite? So my favorite combination model is probably Werua. Yeah, I would just go out on a limb and say Werua. My least favorite is the Pit War Tortoise. It is an abomination. It is absolutely disgusting. I hate it. So, wait, no, hold on. Not, okay. Okay, I take that back. Not the part about it being absolutely disgusting. It's a miserable combination model. No one should ever build it. It should never have existed to begin with. It's just trash. But my least favorite is Gardas. You haven't suffered until you've built Gardas. He's a monument to the sins committed by anyone that worked for Lego on Bionicle. It was probably, at the end of the day, 30 minutes left until everyone leaves work, and somebody comes on over to some model maker and slaps a piece of paper on the table and says, hey, we need one more combination model. Bionicle is ending, but we need one more. You need to use all the sets. Have it done by the end of the day. And so somebody whipped it up in 30 minutes, just connecting limbs and torsos together to make this awful catastrophe of a combination model that doesn't look good from any angle. It has no redeeming qualities. You use up all of your pieces from the stars, so they're all going to break. And it looks like an absolute pile of rubbish. It's just not good. There's nothing redeeming about it. If anyone likes it, I'd like to meet that person and ask how. How do you enjoy what is just such an absolute catastrophe of a combination model? It's terrible. The only thing it has going for it that it can stand upright on its own and pieces don't fall off. But it is absolutely rubbish. There's nothing good about Gardas. He is terrible. Don't ever make him. You'll break all of your star's limbs, and you'll regret it. Okay. I'm getting off the soapbox now. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. The show is still going. So, the runner-up is definitely Pit War Tortoise. Pit War Tortoise is also a bad build. I know some people think it looks good, and that's fine, but it doesn't build well. It is not fun to make. I don't recommend that either. So, Ulti asks, LJ, when's our showdown gonna happen? I haven't been ignoring you. I've just been answering other questions. My goodness. And the answer is, I don't know. Listen, man, I'm not running. We can go anytime that I'm free. So probably not today. And probably not tomorrow. So maybe the day after tomorrow. Or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be soon. Let me see. There's a comment I wanted to address. I wanted to get back up on the soapbox. Okay, I can't find it, so I'm going to answer just questions. Triovore Productions asks, what are your thoughts on my Bionicle custom minifigures that I showed at Brickworld Chicago? I think BZP posted a picture of them on Twitter. I saw those, and I thought they were really good. I really liked them. I thought you did a really good job with them. So, legitimately, I remember those. And I think they look good. So. So here's the comment. Sakota said, you just created a new Solek. That's, you know what, I really hope not. So this is another thing. I'll get up on the soapbox for this one. The Solekians are trash. An absolute trash group. They are a cyst on the Bionicle community. And if they ever were to be wiped out, the Bionicle community would be better. Like, I don't give enough credit to the fans of Good Guy. Like, that's a good group of people. Because their favorite person, their favorite thing in Bionicle is a good guy. Like, that's wholesome. That's fun. The Good Guy community has a lot of fun with Good Guy. They just do their own thing, and they contribute with some funny jokes, and it's not a problem. The Solekian community offers nothing. Sorry, did I say community? I meant group. They're not a community. They're a group of people who go around bullying people they don't like. And I know that they will try and say that I call them Nazis, and that's not true. I don't call them Nazis. I call them Nazi allegories, because they've decided that it's a smart idea to make their allegory what they kind of align themselves with to be the Nazis, to be white supremacists. And that isn't hyperbole. It's not hyperbolic. It's what they do. Like, that's their imagery, that's their motif. Maybe they've gotten rid of it, and that's great, but they're not good people. And of course I am generalizing the Solekians, but as a whole, their spokesperson is an absolute moron who doesn't seem to like anyone or anything, and he just goes out of his way to be a jerk. which is fairly representative of the Selekian group. So no, I don't like the Selekians. I don't think they contribute anything. And I think that anyone that aligns themselves with them are also kind of stupid. The people that I'm trying to wink at Reddit Bionicle, specifically their Discord server, they decided that was a smart move. So yeah, no. I think that the people who like Good Guy are generally fun people, and they're contributing to a fun joke. The people who like Solik, I guess ironically, the Selekians are garbage. Absolute trash. I have no qualms about calling them out on their garbage behavior. Absolutely garbage. They have tried time and time again to show, oh, we've changed, we're better now. Your spokesperson sucks. No, you haven't changed. You still have a guy who has his head so far up his own nose, he doesn't smell anything but himself and thinks that it's great. So no, get rid of him and get rid of your garbage attitudes. There. I'm very unabashed about calling out dumb people. So, anyway, Treevore Productions asks, would it be a good idea if they made the Lego Bionicle movie? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think that right now it's a good idea to be doing that. I don't think Lego would do it, because their original story IP film... There we go. No, almost. There we go. The Lego Ninjago movie didn't do well. So, yeah, we know we're getting a Lego Batman movie 2. We know we're getting the Lego movie 2. And those are easy themes to rely on. And original story IPs just to Lego don't do well. Now, I don't know if they will... I don't know if they'll make another Ninjago film. I would hope so, and I hope they do a better job. But if I were Lego and I weren't in tune with the audience, I would think original story IPs just don't do well, and I wouldn't try it again, because I'd be scared. But that would be if I were Lego and I were out of touch with my audience. So, I would hope for another one. I would hope for another one that's good, but I don't think that they will do that. Unfortunately. Obviously, I have a predisposition toward a Bionicle film. I think that would be a lot of fun, obviously. But I don't think it's happening. But yeah. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prentice. We are getting another Lego Ninjago movie. It's going to be on Cartoon Network. Ha ha, very funny. For anyone unaware, Cartoon Network is taking 4 episodes of the next season of Ninjago, or they're taking 4 episodes and editing them together and calling it a film, which people have some thoughts on. And, I mean, it's... technically, I don't know. It's weird. So... Ooh, oh my god, I'm on fire, which is a fantastic name, asks, do you think early BZP's ban on linking other forums and websites helped or hindered the Bionicle community's growth? It helped BZ Powers. It did not help the Bionicle communities. Because BZ Power was the hub. It was undeniably the hub of the Bionicle community. You are a fan of Bionicle, you went to BZ Power. They had Greg Farshty, they had all the cool contests, they apologies. They had the massive community that was super active. So while I would say it definitely helped BZP, it didn't help the Bionicle community. It hindered it in a massive and substantially damaging way. So when BZ Power went down, the Bionicle community went like this. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand the rationale behind it. I really do. But it's fairly obvious. You can say BZ Power was the hub. BZ Power not linking to other websites or not allowing it did not help the Bionicle community at all. BZ Power helped the Bionicle community in different ways, but that wasn't one of them. So, but again, I do understand the rationale. Nether asks, LJ, did you see my question on the Biotube Revolution movie? If not, are you in it? I don't know. The guy who does it is kind of a... He's got a little bit of a screw loose. I don't like to really acknowledge it. I don't even know what the project is. I don't like to acknowledge the person, but I don't know what the project is. I don't really have any interest if it's by him. I'm not in it. If I am in it, then it's probably taking clips of me from something or to make some kind of a misconstrued point. But I have no interest. So. Midblue asks, what are your thoughts on the Proca Rap SoundCloud? I think that's the one run by Kaz. It is immensely hilarious. He does an incredible job. He is so good at doing anything music related. So, it's very funny. Wolk, is the BZP community active anymore? Yeah, they're active. They definitely don't have the activity they used to. And I think there's an argument to be made they don't have the activity of other websites. But they're still definitely active. There are still people there. BZ Power staff, at least Andrew, does a lot of stuff. They have a Twitch channel, I believe. They do mocking live stream, or building live streams on their YouTube channel. And I know that they do monthly raffle/giveaways. So, and then obviously they have Bionicle, which will earn you certain, oh goodness, what are they? Rewards, I suppose. Either way, they have a lot of stuff, so they're still definitely active. They're just definitely nowhere near their heyday. Like, nowhere near it. it kind of goes understated, but BZ Power in its heyday was massive. Like, they still have, like, on paper, they're still the largest Bionicle website, just because they have all those accounts signed up, like 52,000 members, something like that. But as far as daily activity goes, they're not close. But I would still definitely recommend, if you're a fan of Bionicle and you're a fan of Construction, check them out. Kirian asks, so have you heard of Bionicle? No, do enlighten me. Huh. The Scorpion Strike asks, thoughts on Bionicle reiterated. That actually, the second season just debuted. So I will plug that now. It's by Prentice, and it's Bionicle reiterated. It's the retelling of Generation 2. I'm in it. I'll give you 2 guesses who I am. But, yeah. So I will definitely plug that. And yes, everyone, I'm aware it is probably a little slow. And I'm going to turn down the bitrate, which will hopefully improve things. I'm going to rely on the tried and true method of blaming CenturyLink, because it's easy to do right now. They are a really good scapegoat because they suck. So, obviously it is having a hard time keeping up. Alright. There we go. I only have so much control over how well the stream does. I'm terribly sorry. So if it is dying, all I can recommend is to refresh it and, I don't know, kick it a couple of times. That's what I would do. But, I've done all I can do. So Trevor Productions asks if I'll have a particular person on the show. I'm no offense to Trevor Productions. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this, because the person that it's mentioning, I don't want to ever give them any publicity whatsoever, because they're a terrible human being. So, the answer is no. I do have a blacklist of people. People I don't ever want to have on the show. It's not very long, but, yeah. No. That's not a person I will ever have on the show. The invitation is never going to be extended to them. They are disgusting. So. Albert Kim asks, do you think LEGO will make another CCBS-centered series of sets like the previous Star Wars sets or Gen 2 in the near future? I don't think they're going to make another one. I would like them to. I don't think it's going to happen. I think CCBS probably is going to be supplemental for mechs and stuff. Maybe the occasional tree like in Ninjago City. But I think we've seen the last of it. I don't think we're going to see any more. I don't think we're going to see a CCBS-centered theme. So, yeah, I think it's reached the end. Especially, and it's telling, because this winter release, 2019, the Winter Wave, is the first wave since, I believe, 1999 that we will not see a construction-centered theme in any capacity. You can make a very small argument for maybe Overwatch, but that's a weak argument because it's being used supplementally in Overwatch sets. So, yeah. So this is definitely the first time in 20 years that we will be without a winter CCBS theme. So, I definitely don't think we're going to see any more. The Scorpion Strike asks, favorite board games? Monopoly. Recently played Monopoly. It was a variant called Idaho-opoly, and it was a lot of fun. So I actually do unironically enjoy Monopoly. That's a fun game. Leo Xander asks, do you own copies of the early Reader Bionicle books? I don't. I don't own them. And they are canon, but I saw them. I've read through them. You know, I'd see them in a bookstore and go like, all right, well, that's interesting. Put it back. And that's about all they really necessitate. They never really interest me. You know, because I'm a big boy. So I don't really care enough for the young reader novels. And I just didn't care. I don't care too much about having a full book collection. Like, I have a mostly complete book collection, those being the exception. And it doesn't bother me. So. Alright. Tesla Effect asks, LJ, how good is Reinhardt? So, again, I have to mention, LEGO sent this to me. They sent me Reinhardt and Diva. So I gotta mention that. That being said, Reinhardt is a good-looking model that fails at being a good play model, if that makes sense. I will be doing a review for TTV on Reinhardt and Diva, so that'll come soon. I don't want to completely spill the beans on all that, but I will say he looks really good, but he's really... I don't want to use the term archaic, because he's not archaic. He's just limited. Like, you can tell most of the effort went into Diva, and Reinhardt kind of got the short end of the stick. But, I mean, I'm content on the basis of it's Reinhardt, and I'm a Reinhardt player. Now he has a LEGO set, and that's really cool. But, yeah. So, that's kind of a preview. And Tesla Effect also asks, will I be modding the build? No, probably not. I don't really mod the sets that I get. Like, all the Bionicle sets are stock. And I try not to change it too much. And it's not because I don't want to necessarily, except for in the case of Bionicle. In that case, I leave all those stock as they are. It's just because I don't have too much of an interest. I might make one change to the back. The back is fairly egregious. There's no... I mean, there's a reason for this, I'm sure. I don't find it to be a good excuse, though. This back is just absolutely... It's not good. It's not good at all. So you can tell I'm being unbiased. But I might make a small modification. So. Toa Jaton asks, is the Lego Bastion as good as you'd hoped? I had no hopes for Lego Bastion. I don't have Lego Bastion. And I don't really have a strong interest in Lego Bastion. It's a good set, I'm sure. It's just not anything that I care too terribly much about. I got what I cared about. And Bastion isn't it. Mid Blue asks, what custom masks do you own, excluding the life-sized? I own this kind of pink flowery Miru from, oh gosh, Modal Masks. It was given to me as a gift from Ven at Brick Fair 2017. I have that. I have a custom G2 Miru, or Mask of Jungle, rather, that looks kind of infected from Socket Ball over on Bricklink. I got that at this Brick Fair, and that's really cool. And then I have an infected Miru from Generation 1 that I custom painted to look infected. And I think I posted pictures of that recently. I don't know. Parkour for Life. Hey, buddy, how was your visit to the Bionicle Archives? I gotta say, it was pretty excellent. For anyone unaware, that is Andre Hurley, owner of the Platinum Evoke, an all-around good dude. Like a solid dude. And I will take this opportunity. So, I don't like Facebook. I think Facebook is a scourge upon the earth. But if you have a Facebook account and you don't have any plans on deleting it, then definitely go check out Bionicle Archives on Facebook. Again, I don't have Facebook. I don't use Facebook. I never will. But if you do, there's the plug. So, I'm on Fire asks, do you think Star Wars' poor performance in CCBS was a bigger contributing factor to CCBS's death than G2 bombing? So this is a conversation I had on the show recently-ish. It was about whether or not Bionicle is considered Lego, or should be. And that subject came up. I think that it's possible. I think it's very possible that it had a contribution to the death of CCBS. But I don't think it's because of CCBS. I think that it's because of Star Wars. So when LEGO put all their efforts for CCBS behind Star Wars, and Star Wars products failed, they took that to suggest, oh, well, Construction's not working. Because we know that there were more CCBS sets planned. And for anyone unaware, CCBS means Character and Creature Building System. It is this kind of stuff. So, Bionicle, Hero Factory, Ultra Builds. And, excuse me, I think that, obviously, we know that there were more. There were leaks for it. We know that they're out there. And no one wanted to buy it. Retailers didn't want it because it wasn't selling. And I think that's because Star Wars, just in general, wasn't selling. And it was lumped into that. And that's why it stopped being made, because it stopped being sold. So, Mr. Hinkle Draws says, Facebook equals scourge of the earth. With that being said, what are your thoughts on Instagram and Twitter? So, I made an Instagram account with the sole purpose of contacting one guy, which ended up just happening anyway at Brick Fair. So I don't use the account. And I should probably just deactivate it. You know, garbage in, garbage out information. And I don't use it, like, at all, period. And I think that I don't understand Instagram. I know Facebook owns it. So I'm pretty adverse to using it anyway. Excuse me. But I don't know why people use it when I can just post pictures anywhere else. Twitter is a necessary evil, I find. I don't like Twitter. I don't think Twitter is a good thing, but I use it because it is a powerful tool. And it sounds callous, but that's because Twitter is just a website. But I don't think Twitter's that great either. So. I'm out of tea. That's a problem. Trevor Productions, do you think LEGO Star Wars will discontinue by 2022? No. They'll renew Star Wars' license. There's no way LEGO is letting go of Star Wars. If they can help it, they'll keep it for as long as possible, which it would be forever. Leo Xander asks, have you followed Prince Galador's 12 Days of Galador? Of course I have, and I need to work on contributing to it. So you'll see. Kieran asks, if you could get any license LEGO has to get a Construction theme, what would you choose? It would be Overwatch, because I think it lends itself very well to Construction. Like a Construction Reinhardt would be excellent. I think they could do that very well. But, yeah, easy answer. So. But, yeah. So we are coming to a close, especially given that the connection is failing fairly substantially, which, again, I don't have much control over. There's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do for that. So. Mr. Hinkle draws. I follow you on Instagram, LJ, along with 60 others, with no content or even a profile picture. Yeah, again, I only made it so that I could reach out to Matthew Awald, the actor that plays Nick Bluetooth in Galador. And I ended up just talking to him at Brick Fair anyway, and Kevin was kind enough to help bridge the gap via email. And now he has vanished. He was... The intention was to have him as a guest this month, fun fact, and I still want to have him as a guest, but he has disappeared. Where in the world is Matthew Awald? We don't know. So, Tojaton asks, which Nerf gun is your favorite? Gosh, I don't remember the name of it. I have one. It's a little green bullpup. It's that one, right there, and I don't remember the name for it. It's really, really good. Midblue asks, how would you design your perfect social media site? I wouldn't. I don't think they're particularly useful. I don't like them. Twitter barely counts. But again, I see Twitter more as a social media tool as opposed to a social media site. Like, Twitter has more emphasis on media than social. And Facebook, Instagram, those garbage websites have more emphasis on social, which is not good. It's not. I don't think that it's a very good thing. I think the only social I am really interested in is face-to-face social, which is why, Brick Fair is obviously a massive draw for me. Because you're actually talking to people face-to-face. You're not hiding behind a screen, or you're not worried about the repercussions of actually talking to someone in person. I feel that if most people in the Bionicle community talk to people face-to-face, perceptions would change. I don't find myself... For instance, there were some misconceptions that I had with a person in the community that I recently ended up meeting and had a great time talking to. We had a blast. It was fantastic. We got along great. We didn't necessarily think we would, but then we actually met and hung out, and it was great. I would make the exception for the Selekians because, listen, I have nothing different to say to them. The Selekians can see me. I might not be able to see them, but that's how they like it. But they can see me. So what I'm saying is connected to me. They suck. There. I'd say that to in person, too. That's it. So. Okay, alright. Mr. Hinkledraws gave us a heads up. Matthew Wald is okay. Alright, well, he's taking a break from social media, which I don't besmirch him for. I think that's the right usage of that word. Bottom line, hope he's well. Eager to talk to him again. But I'm glad he's relaxing. So. Excuse me. Sorry. Alright, Makuta Miserix, hello, your majesty, asks, LJ, have you ever thought about doing ASMR? No, I've never thought about doing ASMR. For anyone that is unaware of what ASMR is, it's like, getting close up on the microphone and making these minute noises that have been raised in volume and bass. And you're supposed to elicit some kind of a tingling feeling in the listener. That doesn't affect me, at all. And there's like a certain percentage of the population where that affects them, and then there's the other portion where it doesn't. I'm part of the portion where it just doesn't. So, no, I've never thought about it. I have no interest in doing anything like that at all. Aya the Wolf Productions asks, when will LJ shave his beard? It is going to happen. I'm sorry, beard fans, but it is going away. And it's probably going to be in the spring. Because I was just doing this for fun, and it has been fun. It's been quite enjoyable, but it is going to go away. It's not a permanent fixture. It was only a temporary thing for fun. It'll probably come back around in winter, but, yeah. Mr. Hinkle draws. LJ's launching a new service in 2019, face-to-face social media. There'll be an app, the LJ Face app. No. Nope. No, I can't do it. Gotta be face-to-face. Gotta be talking to people. And hanging out. Wolk asks, do you pour the milk before or after the Nintendo Switch cereals? So I don't understand that. I don't eat Nintendo Switch cereals, Wolk. I don't. Also, anyone who doesn't pour the cereal first, then the milk, is a lunatic, and you need to watch out for them. Either that or they have just a massive amount of patience. Because you'd need to be that irresponsible with the process of making a bowl of cereal. Okay? Just, Tesla Effect asks, when will LJ shave his hair and what cut will it be? I don't like getting a haircut. I will never do what Orion did and just shave it off. That's not happening. So, I definitely like it to be more eccentric, as it were. So. Wadon asks, I just thought if LJ did make a social app, would the likes be mangosteen? Probably. Fun fact, so I've had a mangosteen before. Everyone obviously knows this. Thankfully, I was able to have the opportunity to have a fresh one at Brick Fair. I've never had a mango. I've had mango-flavored everything, but I've never actually eaten a mango. So, that's fun. It's not even intentional. It's just, I've never actually been in the position to try a mango. So, it's just one of life's fun ironies. Mid Blue asks, how often you use your Nerf guns? Not often enough. I'd like to more. I used to a lot back in the day. Get a bunch of friends over and just have this massive war, this massive Nerf conflict. But, not recently. So, Meso asks, what is the difference in your eyes between social media sites, which you say aren't good concepts, and forums, which is how we became friends? So the difference would probably be anonymity. And obviously you can do that on social media anyway. But I would say it really boils down to, I guess, the anonymity and the mixing of interests. So with a forum, you usually have a central focus. Excuse me. With BZ Power, it was Bionicle. So we ended up getting to know each other because of Bionicle and because of that central interest. With social media, you don't have that one thing. It's mixing of actual real-life things. Like politics, political discussion, religious discussion, actual real-life serious matters. Not hobbies like Lego or Nerf. So it becomes a lot more not real, not important even though, obviously those things are very important when it comes to conversation, but it becomes a lot more, I guess, serious would be the operative term. And so people go out there and they share things and they do things, a variety of things that are just really stupid, and they garner these massive followings for being, dumb. But with a forum, it's a lot more of a structured environment, I suppose. Like on BZ Power, if someone was dumb, they'd go away. The TTV message boards, if someone breaks the rules enough, they go away. But, on social media, you see people get massive followings for doing just idiotic things. There's a kid that got a massive following for yodeling in a Walmart. Why? Or that one gal who got a massive following for being on Dr. Phil. Why? Like, there's no good in giving people that do dumb things attention. So, I think is probably haphazard and confusing as that might come across, I would say that is the defining barrier. And anonymity, because a lot of people on social media, they don't use their anonymity, and it ends up being used against them. But on a forum, usually you have an alias. Now, obviously enough, that's a much slipperier slope. And I think that it lends a little bit toward what I was saying. If you're talking to someone in person and you have your name attached to you and what you're saying in person, that's going to come across a lot differently as if you have your name attached to a social media presence and then you say something that's attached to that. You know, it really does change how you interact. I try and remain as consistent as I can when it comes to personal, in-person interactions. I don't know if it comes across well. I'm probably a lot quieter. If I had to guess, I'm far more reserved in person. But, and that kind of lends to my point. You know, here, usually a lot of people are used to me yelling and screaming and doing whatnot. And I'll do that in person when I'm used to being around a person. But, if you've gone to Brick Fair and you've seen us, seen TTV, seen me, you'll probably tell I am more than happy to talk to people, but I'm definitely nowhere near as boisterous. So, I would say that's... And obviously, I see the irony in my wearing a mask, but of course, I had to. It was too much. I had too prime an opportunity to pass that up, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. You play the part, and you have the mystery, and then you do the reveal, and it's fun. I don't regret that, but I see the irony. But I don't know. Hopefully that comes across. Mid Blue asks, what is your opinion on Discord? Discord is a great instant messaging program. Nobody should ever use anything other than Discord as far as instant messaging is concerned. Skype is just an absolute catastrophe. Nice sound. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get through a few more, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. It's getting dark. It's getting late. But I appreciate you all being here. We'll do a little bit of a retrospective for 2018 in just a moment. Leo Xander asks, what did Orion's bald head feel like? Like a bald head. Tesla Effect asks, will you be watching both the Lego and Playmobil movies? I won't be watching the Playmobil movie. I have no interest because it's not coming out before Brick Fair. Playmobil people, if I will be in Virginia from July 31st to August 4th, I think. Something like it. Whenever Brick Fair is. I'm not opposed to seeing the movie early. Just saying. I mean, obviously I'm a Lego guy, but there's a chance to win me over. Because I have experienced Playmobil before. I don't have a strong opinion. Give me one. So, because it looks fascinating, but I don't think... I'm not going to go out of my way to see it unless it was with everyone from TTV. So, Mid Blue asks, have you played Masks of Power version 1.4? Excuse me. I have, and it glitched. It gave me a bug. It not a virus or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. But I had an issue where I shot air as Liwa, and it then decided to make me walk forward indefinitely. So I couldn't... The only way that I could stop was by pressing the back key, but it wouldn't actually stop me from moving if I had my hands off of the keyboard. So I want to do a video on it. I want to have Joe Cool on, but I'm waiting. I was gonna have a video talking with him, but it ended up being sucked into a development cycle, which it's not getting out of, and now it's out of date. So I need to reapproach him and do another one, like a good one. So, Coley, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. I'll call you Coley. What is your eye color? I'm not sure why I'm asking. I'm not sure why you're asking either. Well, it's not blue. It's not green. Although it would be super cool if it were green. So, it's just, it looks black right here. Like, my eyes look really black. And they do usually anyway, but it's just really dark brown. Just really, really dark. So. But, Leo Xander asks, have you played The Legend of Matanui's latest version? And yes, I have. And I want to do a video on that too, but that one's a lot worse to deal with. because they recently took out level select. At least from the, you boot up the game from their launcher, and you just straight on getting into the game, level select is gone. So you start from the beginning, which is fine, except for the fact you can't actually complete the game. Dying over and over again. If you die and move after a certain amount of times, it will crash the game, which is why Liwa's level is generally, you can't complete it full on, because if you glitch getting on the vines, or that surfing part, and you die by falling, the game will crash inevitably. So I can't actually complete it. With Anua's level, I got to a certain point. I was playing through the game normally, and I went into one cave to go to the next stage, and it crashed the game. So I can't actually complete it, and I'd like to be able to give it a fair shake, and I can't get past Anua's level, which feels representative of the experience. But I have faith in the guys that are working on it. They got it covered. They know what they're doing. It's merely a matter of time, and they'll get that thing up and running and playing better than it ever has. They already have got it playing better than it ever has before. So yeah. Tesla Effect asks, LJ, will you do an interview with Ben Cossey? Not opposed. I will be having more mockists on. I know Ben does a really good series, the Bionicle Mock Inspiration series on YouTube. It's really good. He does a great job. Definitely not opposed to having him on. He's not on my blacklist. Again, it's a very small list. One day maybe I'll release it, but just to let people know who I'm not ever interested in having on. And again, it's very small, but the people on it are just no one that I ever have any interest in talking to, or they've done, or they'll never be on anyway. Like, if there's someone on the list who I know if I ever had on, he'd sabotage the whole thing, and it'd just be a complete mess, because he's an incredibly self-centered jerk who has no regard for anyone other than himself, and I know who most of you think I'm talking about. It's not him. It's someone completely different in the Bionicle community who is a complete and total rat. So, I'm not calling him out because I'm not trying to start a fight, but I'm not also trying, except obviously with the Selekians, but I'm not trying to fight them necessarily. I'm just trying to call them out on their nonsense. And normally I'd call this person out on his nonsense as well, but it's not worth doing. It's something he did to me. It doesn't really affect the community. People like what he does. It's not important. And it's not worth having a public spat over. It's not. There's nothing to be gained. So, Tree of Our Productions, do you have a list of people who've declined? There's only been one person, and the way, when I reach out to people, I usually, one of three responses, either, yes, I'd like to be on, no, I'm not interested, or they don't respond. And there's only been one group, one person that has said, I'm not interested in being on. That was the aforementioned Little Brotherhood Studios. Again, no obligation. They are more than welcome to appear where they will and keep to themselves and do whatever they want. They're doing great work. Not going to really pester them. I'd like to have them on, but they're the only people that have declined. Normally, people don't respond. Usually. If they do respond, then it's yes, I'd like to be on, and then it takes a while to schedule. I like to schedule very far in advance, like at least a couple months. So, but to really go back, though, yes, I'd like to have, I'm not opposed to having Ben Cossey on. So, Daniel asks, what are the qualifications to be on the podcast? Well, it's a very small list. Do you have a microphone? Do you have headphones? Do you have Discord? And can you be family friendly? And that's basically it. The last one is a little more vague. It's, do you have an interesting perspective in the LEGO community? Or an adjacent community, I suppose. Do you have something that can be discussed? Can there be a conversation had based on what you do? And the reason I say that's a little more vague is because sometimes there's overlap, like having more than one mockist on. While they might build differently, very differently, they're still mockists. That's the central conversation. Same for artists, voice actors, stuff like that. So, that's why I say it's a little more vague. It's not the defining factor. Usually the defining factor is, can you be family friendly? And I will make slight exceptions in slight circumstances, but I will censor it. You'll notice I've had 2 people who have let loose from my policy, and what I will do is I will censor the offending language. No, I don't like that phrase. The unfamily friendly language. And then I will post that, but I will in the link have a description to the uncensored version so that it retains the chat. But it's unlisted. It's just in the description. I try my very best to keep this as family friendly as I possibly can. That's usually the defining factor. I do have a Google form where you can apply to be a guest. And it's not a guarantee, but I have asked people from the application process to be on. The most notable of which is Bionicle No Productions, who is really fun to talk to. And he applied, and I reached out to him. So, I need to put that in more descriptions. People don't know about it because it's only been in the description of one video. So, but yeah. So I do my best to try and keep that as it is. And it's not because of any moral high standing when it comes to language. It's just I feel that family-friendly language is the most accessible to the most amount of people. And it's kind of contradictory to be involved in Lego and then just disregard how you speak. You know, because the Lego has a very certain audience. It's a very family-friendly audience. And I want to retain that. I want to... Oh, goodness, what's the phrasing here? I want to be able to meet the expectation of someone coming to a video about Lego, if that makes sense. So, that's a scoop. I will try and put the link to the form in the description. Again, it's not a guarantee, but I do scroll through it, and I do appreciate any interest anyone might have. So, Wadon asks, what would the TTV variant of Endgame be? That is a great question. If I had to say... Actually, I'm not going to say, because it's a really good idea, and I don't want to jump the gun yet. So, you'll see, maybe. Coley asks, do you draw? No, I do not draw. I don't. I have no artistic skill whatsoever. So... I don't. Tesla Effect asks, will you interview Jang, or are you up for it? I would love to talk to Jang. That would be excellent. But he usually doesn't go on podcasts. So, I'll need to reach out to him. I'm expecting a no, because he doesn't like to be out in the public too much. I think the 2 exceptions he ended up making were Beyond the Brick, which makes sense, because they're good people, and Just Too Good, which also makes sense. He's good people, too. And so the 2 of them have had him on. I don't think Jang would be too interested, personally. But that's fine. I mean, I understand not wanting to really be out there and to talk to people. I would like if he were on, but I'm not going to put all my irons in that basket. So, yeah. Alright, let me see. So, before I wrap up, 2018. What a crazy year. Because the year started off, and I was just, doing my own thing, and I still plan to. Obviously, the channel isn't going anywhere. I'm going to be doing more reviews. Definitely more reviews. And more top 10s, more episodes of the Eljay Johnsen Show, which has been just a blast this year. I feel bad about missing so many episodes this month, because I had a lot of good plans, and they all kind of just fell to the wayside. But it's been a blast. The show has been fantastic. It's been fun making videos here and just having a good time. Obviously, I'm back in TTV. That happened in March, and that was awfully unexpected. Obviously enough, there's plenty of documentation on that specifically, so I won't get into it too much. But, yep, back in TTV, doing a lot of stuff there. And trust me, not everything is going to be visible for a long time. But when it is, I think it'll be worth it. More reviews have come out on TTV. the Bionicle playset reviews, which I've started, and I'm working on the next batch of them. It's just a slower process because I got sick this month, and I went to the Bionicle archives, which I can, obviously, Andre mentioned it in the comments. so yeah. But obviously, I'm not abandoning this. I'm still doing this for fun. I'm still going to be doing fun videos here. Obviously, I feel that's evident from the food reviews. Like, those are immensely fun to make because, I don't take them very seriously. They're just something to do for the enjoyment. So I'll definitely be touching more upon the Bionicle games and so on and so forth. With that, the show will obviously continue, have a bunch of new and fascinating guests and a bunch of returning guests next year. And so yeah, that's none of that is going anywhere. And I'm still balancing this channel and then TTV. And the stuff I've been doing for TTV has kind of increased, which is why you've seen a little more of a decrease in the non-Eljay Johnsen Show videos. Not that there were a lot to begin with, anyway, but I hope to do more. So I'm very glad how things have been going. And then obviously the TTV stuff has been going decently well. It's been happening. It's been a transition period being back in the TTV, obviously. Not necessarily because I'm not used to it, but because I've been doing a lot more. Obviously, TTV has a game channel, which I've been basically running for a little bit. So that's a thing. Not family-friendly language, except for me. I maintain that. But that's a thing. Obviously, hosting the podcasts, the stream, which in retrospect probably isn't a good idea for me to be doing that because I'm in the middle of nowhere with CenturyLink, which recently had a massive outage. So probably not a smart thing. But going into next year, it's going to be interesting. A lot more stuff. Brick Fair is going to happen. Brick Fair Virginia 2019 is going to be incredible. I'm trying very hard to make sure we can get everyone from TTV there, which isn't a secret. But I'm not confirming it because it might not happen. Who knows? I'm trying very hard. And obviously getting TTV kind of back on track and doing things has been exciting because it seems like there are so many things working against it, but I'm trying to bring it back to a point people remember it being fun, both cast and viewer. I'm trying very hard to make sure that it's less, we have to do this, and more, we want to do this. Because there are a lot of things I want to do on the TTV channel that I'm trying to do. There's Project H. There are the retired reviews, which aren't even just going to stay Bionicle. Now, I'm starting with Bionicle because it's easy, and I have an ulterior motive. And there might even be some more reviews alongside them. Don't know what they're going to be about. But I obviously want to do something I wanted to do for the last coming up on 5 years with the rest of the cast and crew. That'll go on TTV. A lot of people wanted it, and I've alluded to it, but it hasn't happened because it's been in a development cycle. It's been difficult to get it out of. But that's going to happen. And I know I'm vague, but it's only because I don't want to spill the beans and announce something before it's ready. It's a bad idea. So, but yeah, there are a bunch of things that are going to be happening. More reviews. The year has been so busy, and especially in the last few months. Ever since August, it's just been nonstop, go, go, go. But good things are coming out of it. Obviously enough with Brick Fair, there was a series on TTV that Envy made, and I was able to get the Mangosteen food review. And then the recent trip to Utah to the Bionicle archives. Good things are coming out of that. Of course, good things are going to come out of that. Like, a lot of good things. Like, over the next 2 years, thanks to that trip. A lot of good things. So, yeah. A lot of stuff is going to be happening. And 2018 was a very busy year. Unexpectedly so. And 2019 isn't going to calm down. like, it's not going to slow down. Things are going to pick up. More shows, more reviews. Just a whole ton of stuff is happening next year, and it's going to be absolutely off the wall. I'm very much so looking forward to it. So, okay, I think that's basically about it. This has been the last episode of the show. It's not a part of the, it's not a part of the series, but it's obviously a special. So thank you all so fair. Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied now because I've been talking a long time. There we go. Thank you all so very much for being here. Hopefully you've had a good time just relaxing, hanging out, chatting. Hopefully I've answered as many of your questions as I could. If you have any other questions, make sure to email me. There we go. Right here, eljayjohnsen@gmail.com. I do check the email. I might not respond right away, but I do check it. Obviously, I've slacked in responding recently because I've been ill or what have you. But that's a good place to contact me. Obviously, on Twitter, antics happen there all the time. And, of course, I recommend going over there for the sake of keeping up with antics, even if I'm not the biggest Twitter person. Not the biggest Twitter fan. Excuse me. But, those are the places to find me. And yes, again, the beard will go away. I grew it for fun, and it is fun. But it will be going away in the spring. So, rest in tiny pieces. Soak it in while you can. And yes, it is a different color. Like, it's red. My hair is dark brown, obviously, but it is red because there are red highlights in my hair. And this has accentuated that. So it's kind of fun. It's a fun dichotomy. But yeah, thank you all so very much for joining me over the last year. It has been incredibly hectic. It's been a fun time, mostly. And next year will be as well. It is going to be even busier with even more stuff happening. A lot to look forward to. So, thank you all so very much for joining me. Hopefully you'll be there next week with the next episode of the Eljay Johnsen Show. There are the places to go. This one has all the updates and the guest announcements every Tuesday. And this one is a good place to contact me for anything. And I swear if I don't respond, it's not because I'm ignoring you, unless you're a certain somebody. It's just because I'm really bad at responding to emails. So make sure you send a couple and I'll get around to it. I promise. It's just I'm bad at that. But I digress. Thank you for 2018. Let's go to 2019 and celebrate so many 10-year anniversaries. Like, there are so many of them just lined up. It's going to be nuts. So until then, have a wonderful rest of the year. I will see you all next year, because that's a fun joke to make. It is. Trust me. And hopefully you have a wonderful rest of the day, and wonderful rest of the weekend, and rest of the year. So Happy New Year, and farewell until then.